Welcome to the Mainframe Security Insights Platform version 1.0 video about how to identify access to specified resources. Unauthorized access to business-critical resources enables users to perform activities for which they are not normally permitted. Therefore, unsecured business-critical resources offer an unprotected entry point to your mainframe. What are business-critical resources, and how do they put the mainframe at risk? Business-critical resources are specific to your organization. Datasets for any of the following examples could be considered business-critical resources: human resources information, sales information, payroll information, and account information. This information must be protected from accidental or intentional unauthorized modification, destruction, or disclosure. Further, due to the sensitive and confidential nature of this information, it is critical that access to it be highly restricted. Misuse of these resources can compromise the confidentiality and integrity of the business-critical data and allows access to IDs outside of the authorized group. Securing access to these resources helps prevent misuse. One of a security administrator's primary goals is to limit access to business-critical resources to align to the least privilege model, supporting a zero-trust security architecture. The least privilege model is the practice of limiting a user's access rights to the minimum level that's required to perform his or her job function. The Specified Resource Access Report helps the security administrator achieve this goal. The report correlates data from your mainframe and your external security manager to provide details for your specified resources, which users can access those resources, risk findings, and recommendations per resource. This data provides insights into existing security risks for the specified resources and what remediation opportunities exist so that you can remove unnecessary or unauthorized access to further secure your mainframe. Let's log into Security Insights using mainframe credentials to build a specified resource access report. From the home page, select Build Report on the Identify Access to Specified Resources tile. To start building the report, select the system to run the report against. Then select the access level, which is a user's access to a resource as permitted by the external security manager. Here, the system is running top secret, so the access levels are top secret specific. However, if the system were running ACF2 or RACF, the access levels would be specific to that ESM. To narrow the report results, select specific access levels. For example, if you're concerned only with users with update or write access, select All, Update, and Write. Next, enter your business-critical datasets in the Specify Datasets box. Repeat for each dataset that you want to include in your report. You can also use masking for dataset names. Security Insights permits the use of the asterisk as a mask for one or more characters or qualifiers, and the percentage symbol as a mask for a single character or qualifier. Click the tooltip to review some examples. Next, select a risk configuration for your report. We provide a default risk configuration, or you can build your own by clicking Create Configuration. A risk configuration defines the parameters for evaluating the risk to your mainframe data. Based on the selected risk configuration, the report results provide a risk level and recommendations per resource record. This information offers you a better understanding of your security posture. Select Build Report. Optionally, give your report a meaningful name to make it easy to locate, and include an email address to be notified when a report status change occurs, such as when your report completes. Click Create Report. Your report begins to generate. When your report completes, click the report name hyperlink to review the results. Let's take a look at the results for an out-of-the-box sample specified resource access report for Top Secret. The report results help you identify and reduce risk to your mainframe. The risk level provides a risk assessment per resource based on the risk parameters in the risk configuration and the recommended steps to mitigate the risks. This information helps you prioritize and address security vulnerabilities. Click the risk level label to see the details and recommendations. Optionally, you can view the risk scores by toggling the Show Scores option. The data source column provides the dataset name that you specified for the report. Global access means providing wide access to users by applying access to the resource itself. In a top secret system, permitting access to the all security record grants a wide access. Similarly, for ACF2, it would be a UID asterisk or role dash, and for RACF, it would be the Universal Access Authority in the dataset profile. Knowing the global access levels assigned to the resource helps you identify potential security exposures. You can then determine whether the global access for the resource is valid or should be removed. For example, if we sort on this column, we see 2 resources with update accesses. These accesses should be reviewed to determine whether they are needed. Entitlement count is the number of users with permission to the resource for the access levels that you selected when building your report. This count shows additional access outside global access and is based on the entitlements given to a user or group in the ESM. This information shows you which resources have the most users with access. The more users with access, the higher the potential risk. For example, if we sort on this column, we see that the dataset sales.division.asterisk has 11 users with access. Let's drill into this dataset to see its details. The Risk Level tab shows the risk findings and recommendations, which we saw on the previous page. We see that sales.division.asterisk dataset has a global access of create, scratch, update, and write. This is a security risk because it allows all security record access to this dataset. Under Recommendations, we see a suggestion to work with the security administrator to remove the definition that allowed such wide access and to optionally start monitoring critical datasets using Compliance Event Manager. The Users tab shows a user ID-centric view of access to the resource, including user IDs, usernames, the group that permitted the access, here the system is running top secret so the group is by profile, and the specific access level that each user was granted. From the Profile column, we see users without a profile listed. These users were permitted access to the resource directly, rather than through a profile. As a best practice, grant user access through profiles for improved security. To see a group-centric view of access, click the Groups tab. Click a profile name to see a list of users who were granted access through the profile. For example, we see that Bruce Adams is included in the list of users with Create Access. Bruce transferred to a different department, so his access to this resource should be removed from the profile. In this video, you learned why it is vital to protect your business-critical resources, and how to create a specified resource access report so that you can understand existing security risks in your business-critical resources, review recommendations for limiting these risks, and determine what remediation opportunities exist for limiting access to align to the least privileged model. For more information about security insights, go to the product page at this URL. From the product page, you can access services, product documentation, learning paths, and communities.